Speaking of people who are kind of worthless and weak.
Bob Nalbandian?
No, Bob Nalbandian.
Just saying that because I just got a text from him that he's listening to the show.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Our buddy Bob.
Oh, he emailed me that he got my clips for Inside Metal.
Okay, nice.
So he was just emailing me, and he said, I'm listening to CMS now, so why not throw a dig at him?
Sure. Well, anyway, here's something entitled, I'm a millennial and my generation sucks.
I like it already. I approve.
So, Moogle, listen up. Millennials are the worst. I should know. I am one.
Wow.
At 26, I am stuck in the middle of the world's most maligned, mocked, and discussed age group.
Wow.
I hate it. Imagine being forever lumped into a smug pack of narcissists who don't just ignore the past, but openly abhor anyone and everything that came before them.
Wow. Very true.
That's very true.
Yep.
They're the old man Neeley comment.
Mm-hmm.
You're just an old guy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
My boomer coworkers get paid more, and they have no clue what Reddit is. Drones the millennial victim as the tiny violin plays. Meanwhile, baby boomers gave us computers and our other major contributions to societies. And our major contribution to societies are emojis and TV recaps. 2016 hasn't exactly been a banner year for the lousiest generation. Isn't the generation during the World War II era known as the greatest generation?
Sure.
These kids are known as the lousiest generation.
And in both cases, that label fits.
First, there was Talia Jane, the dopey 25-year-old Yelp employee who was rightly fired for whining about her low salary on social media. Remember that story?
I remember that, yeah.
Now, next came the 27-year-old Mick writer who told his boss he was taking time off for a funeral when he was actually building a treehouse.
Come on.
That's true.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then entered the Sandinista Bernie Sanders obsessive who preached reform and inclusion by berating their closest friends and family for daring to think differently. One post on the Bernie or Bust Facebook group page reads, I don't want to be friends with you if you support Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump.
Okay.
This is what happens when parents slap their toddlers' headshots on a birthday cake. Recently, a comment from a colleague hit me like a stray selfie stick.
Yeah.
She said, in some ways, I love being a millennial because it's so much easier to be better than the rest of our generation. Because they suck. It was jarring to hear the truth so plainly stated, but she's right. We suck. We really suck.
Right.
Like a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I must admit that I'm powerless to my biological age. Nonetheless, I fight back every day against the traits that have come to define Generation Y. Entitlement, dependency, nonstop complaining, laziness, and the Kardashians.
Wow. Dead on.
People like me are called old souls or 26 going on 76. We're chided by our peers for silly things such as enjoying adulthood, commuting to a physical office, and not being enamored with Brooklyn. Contentment has turned us into lepers or worse, functioning human beings. My millennial friends want me to be hopelessly nostalgic for the 90s, obsessing over which Saved by the Bell character I'm most like. while I ironically purchase Dunkaroos and Snapchatting my vacation expressions for 43 people to ignore? Or flying home for the weekend to recover from an office burnout by getting some shut-eye in my pristine childhood bedroom? Thanks, but I'll pass.
Wow, this guy's lighting it up.
Yeah. This is my number one rule. Do whatever millennials don't.
Right.
Definite no-nos include quitting a job or a relationship the moment my mood drops from ecstatic to merely content.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting the world to kowtow to my every childish whim, and assuming that I am always the most fascinating person in the room. Hell, the zip code.
What?
That I'm the most fascinating person in the room, or hell, the zip code.
Okay.
The entire zip code, I'm the most fascinating person, is what they're saying.
Right, sure.
Millennials are obsessed with their brand. They co-opt from the term Apple and Xerox to be, like so many other things, all about them.
Right.
What's your brand? Millennial employers ask. The trouble is that a young person's brand really extends beyond a screen, a Twitter, an Instagram, a LinkedIn, a YouTube. When you meet them, they're never quite as witty or attractive or entrepreneurial as they seem on Facebook.
Right.
They're fiction authors spinning elaborate yarns about their fabulous lives, the great Kathy or Asher and the Rye. But the truth is more like a tale of two Cindys. She's the life of the party online, dull as dishwater in person. Last year, sitting in a bar at Hell's Kitchen, a 29-year-old friend asked, "How do you just start talking to somebody you don't know?" The best answer I could muster was, "I'm interested in other people. I like to ask them questions about themselves." Simple, right? Not when your mind has been wrapped to believe you're automatically deserving of others' attention like the people in the Vatican City. Perhaps their Messiah complex is a result of being coddled, petted, and worshipped like toy poodles from infancy all the way up to college.
Wow.
Pundits love to cite soccer participation trophies as the downfall of Western civilization, but it gets even worse.
Right.
You know, I know you're not a Steelers fan.
No, I'm not.
But one thing that I do like about that James Harrison is that he made his kids give back their participation trophies.
I did like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
He says, like, that doesn't go in my house. Get out of here.
He's like, I'm not, you know what? Everybody participates, so
Yeah.
you don't get awarded for that.
Yeah.
I'm with him on that.
Last week, Hastings High School in Westchester, New York, handed out 87 commendations as its senior awards ceremony. The graduation class, 141 teens. A Reason Foundation survey found that 58% of 18 to 29-year-olds think their own generation is entitled. Huh? Why? How could that be? The social awkwardness of 20-somethings is a problem caused by two enemies, Kanye-sized egos and smartphones. But in order to be a good networker, still the best way to secure a job, you need to stop filtering mediocre selfies with Valencia or Instagram. Look up from your device and string together a few words with strangers, preferably words about them.
Right.
That goes back to something you mentioned. What was it? You said you went to some bar with your kid for lunch, and everybody was sitting at the bar with their face stuck in
stuck in their phones.
Yeah. Too often during a conversation, a young person's eyes glaze over as they decide what scintillating tidbit about their brilliant selves to reveal next. Be it the 3 days they didn't leave their apartment or how they studied abroad experience in Portugal 9 years ago shaped who they were today. Newsflash, nobody cares.
Right.
Sorry, I just got a text from someone I'd rather be spending time with. Feel free to keep reading while I carry on a separate conversation with them. The self-obsession doesn't go down well with the office either. Millennials make up the largest portion of the workforce, but employers are terrified of them with good reason. They're serial job hoppers. According to the Gallup in 2016, 21% of the commitment phobes left their jobs after less than a year. 60% are open to it. The "where did you see yourself in 5 years" question has been more redundant because the answer is almost definitely not here.
Right.
One friend of mine has tackled 6 different jobs in 2 years, which seems more stressful than just sticking with one less than perfect job for a while. How long should any person stay in a gig? At least 18 months, according to most career experts. Think of it as binge working. And once they do land their dream job as a hoverboard tester paid in wads of cash and sushi burritos,
right,
they want to work from their apartment. This goes back to that whole thing, I know your experience this is with your own kids. Mm-hmm. What is it with these kids and none of them drive cars?
I don't know.
They don't have a license. None of them drive. They don't care to drive. They just want to sit in their bedroom.
Yeah, well, that's what they want to do. That is what they want to do.
Yeah. So most of these millennials, they don't even want to leave the house to go get a job. They want to work from their apartment.
Yeah. Well, and look, I want to work from mine too. I love when I work at home, and I fucking hate when I have to go to the museum.
Yeah, but you earned that.
Yeah, I earned the right.
You're not an 18 to 20-year-old starting out. You're 40-something years old.
Right.
And I hate to use this cliche term, but it is applicable to you, is that you've paid your dues to be able to work from home because you own your own business.
Yeah, and I took every bit of the risk. Every bit of it. No one helped me. No one handed me money or jobs or work or anything. I had to go get it. And I did.
A U.S. Chamber Foundation study said work-life balance drives the career choices of 75% of millennials. In my experience, however, the balance generally tilts toward wherever you can type pantless. Do I have to change out of my pajamas to go to work today? Well, I can't just plop down in front of the computer and eat my cornflakes or my Captain Crunch out of a throwaway bowl.
Right.
I don't have to wash the bowl, do I?
Oh my God, that extra work. Can I get a plastic spoon that I can throw away?
Yeah, does the milk actually come in the bowl, or do I have to actually pour it?
Yeah.
The situation looks bleak. But we can turn it around, millennials, and here's how.
Right.
Action item number 1, stop blaming everybody. Don't blame the big banks. Don't blame your mom. Don't blame the baby boomers. Don't blame your employer or your landlord or the economy, the Apple Store, the media, the airlines, the weathermen, George R.R. Martin. By absolving ourselves of responsibility, we've become forever 8-year-olds tattling on the world in hopes it'll better our situation. It won't. It'll only make it crummier. Action item number 2, stop being so insular. Many people are shocked when Brexit won out in the UK or when Donald Trump became the presumptive GOP presidential nominee. That's because you've created your own social media accounts where most of your interactions take place, to be in total agreement with your opinions. But most of the world doesn't think the way you do, which doesn't make them bad. It's just different. Try empathy for size. Befriend some dissenters. Grab a beer with them. Listen to what they have to say for once. Don't yell at them. Action item number 3, stop waiting around for something to happen. Getting a job is hard. Filling out 1 million online forms isn't enough. Primping your LinkedIn and hoping your God-given greatness will finally be recognized by everybody else like your grandma always said it would will get you zip zilch zero.
Right.
You need to leave your apartment, meet people, be assertive, interesting, be open. I've gotten full-time jobs by sitting at a bar and dancing at a wedding reception. Fellow millennials, I want to like you. I really do, but you make it damn impossible sometimes. So there you go.
Well, that's something.
Yeah. Leave your apartment. Get out. Go do something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do I have to put milk on my own cereal?
Yeah, that's hard.
Do I have to wash my own bowl?
That's hard.
Can't they just make a bowl I can just eat right out of and throw it away?
Please.
It's too hard.
Please do that for me.
I just go back to that article we read, about a couple of months ago,
right,
where the cereal companies are noticing a decline in their sales just due to the fact that their product requires you to use a bowl to eat it.
Right.
Because they have to wash the bowl.
Right.
So they're marketing their cereal in throwaway bowls. All you have to do is just rip the lid off and pour some milk in it and throw it away when you're done.
Exactly.
Because it's too hard to wash the bowl.
Right.
Lazy.
It is lazy.
Yeah. I bet you my dad is just glad that he raised his kids and they were out of the house 20-some years ago. It's God. Terrible.
It is. That's great.
And you deal, your kids are in their 20s.
Yeah.
But, as far as I know, I don't know your kids that well, but I do know that they're productive.
Well, they work.
But that's only because you kick their ass and tell them, you know what? If you don't work, you're going to starve.
Yeah, well, that's it. I have expectation of all three of them to fucking earn their own way. And, two of the three are going to take my businesses from me. So, I have full expectation of them to be better than me. Especially Zach, who, I'm grooming to take over the museum. When I brought Zach into the museum, that was the first thing I told him was that he has to be better than me.
Right.
Not just be me. He's got to do better than I do.
Sure.
Because he's got to, like me, I don't know dick about the machines. I don't know anything about the games.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to know that.
Sure.
The next generation of doing what, I can start it, but I'm not going to carry it through. If it lasts 20 years, I'm certainly not going to be the one carrying that torch. That's his job. So if he wants to, he's got to be better than me. He's got to be smarter. He's got to be quicker. And he's got to do it. And really, it's the same with my IT business, too, with my other son. He's got to be better than me. And sometimes that happens. He's a better programmer than me. But, he's got to learn the whole picture.
Sure.
We spend hours after hours after hours on phones and shit, learning to sell and talk to customers and, all that kind of bullshit that has to come. Because he's got to be better than I do. It's that simple.
Well, you got to go out and achieve. That's the end. That's the bottom line.
Right.
And there's really no other way to do it. So I know this isn't the most funny show so far, but I got other stuff to get to. But as a message, as somber as it has been this week with all the misery out there,
right.
I hope whatever it is that we've imparted to you tonight might help somebody along the way. So it's get out there and do something.
Right.
Don't just sit there and go, oh, I can't do it. It's too hard. Can't achieve. Can't do nothing. It's too rough. Yeah, it's tough. Things tough. We all fight. We all fight the hardships. We persevere and just do it.
Right.
End of story. All right, well, it's time to get a drink.
All right.
Then we'll come back and we'll do some funnier stuff.
All right, good.
So I don't want to depress everybody, but it's uplifting stuff.
Let's get to the pussy jokes. Let's say it's time.
Yeah,
pal.
Yeah, pal. All right, I got some harem scarum here for by request. We'll play a couple songs. We'll come back and we'll do something fun.
Right. Okay.
All right. It's Harem Scarum called Empty Promises exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hail and kill. How about some Harem Scarum from the masterpiece Mood Swings from 1993. Someone was really mad at a delusional woman around that time to write a song like Empty Promises. Check out the lyrics. It's pretty intense, and it's a great song. So here you have it, Empty Promises by Harem Scarum, here in the Classic Metal Show.